After giving birth, one woman realized her child's race didn't match that of her own or her husband's, causing him and his mother to reject the baby. Later, the woman didn't want her mother-in-law to bond with the child because she never apologized for rejecting her granddaughter. A woman got married while she was still in her teens, later giving birth to a baby girl. However, the child seemed to be an entirely different race than her mother and father, causing serious conflict between the two. The woman's husband rejected the child after his side of the family tried to intervene. Enraged, the dad refused to have his wife come home with their child and accused her of cheating, which resulted in her getting bad-mouthed on social media. The woman spent some time away from home and had to go to great lengths to prove that her husband was the father of their baby. However, after she was welcomed back home, she refused to let her mother-in-law visit to bond with the child. On September 26, 2021, a Reddit user with the username mundane_waltz1106 took to one of the platform's communities for advice. The user revealed that she was a 21-year-old woman who had been with her 29-year-old husband since she was 18. The pair married when the woman was 19 and they had a good relationship based on trust. However, things changed when the couple's firstborn child emerged with brown eyes, dark skin, and thick, dark, curly hair. Seeing as the child's mother and father were both white with light-colored hair and eyes and white skin, the child's appearance caused a stir. Everyone believed the mother had cheated on her husband, despite her denying it, and she recalled, "It was an awful moment of my life because I felt alone. Even my husband thought I cheated on him. Her husband even left her alone at the hospital after their daughter was born because his mother convinced him to." The woman didn't receive any visitors in the hospital because her mother-in-law shared images of the child on social media and called her a cheater. The new mom wasn't aware that her mother-in-law took photos of her child. When she tried texting her husband, pleading with him to get a DNA test, he ignored them, saying she had to stay at her sister's house for a month instead of returning home. She eventually convinced him to get the test, and it proved without a doubt that he was the little girl's father. Upon getting the results, her husband apologized profusely and allowed her to return to their home, but their relationship had changed. The poster confessed that she felt differently toward her husband ever since he rejected her when their daughter was born. Despite the DNA test, the woman's mother-in-law continued saying she had cheated and even used racial slurs when talking about her granddaughter. The husband's mother continued to use derogatory terms to describe her granddaughter and spread rumors that the DNA test was fake. The mother-in-law went as far as saying she'd never treat the child as her granddaughter. One day, the mother-in-law suddenly asked if she could visit and even referred to the child as her granddaughter. The 21-year-old felt uncomfortable with this sudden change in demeanor and refused the visit. Her husband reacted in anger and felt the visit would have given his mother a chance to bond with their daughter and even thought it was the child's right to know her grandparents. Despite this, his wife still felt uncertain, especially because her mother-in-law had never apologized. She wanted to know if she was being terrible for not allowing her mother-in-law to visit the new baby. Many Reddit users entered the comment section to share their thoughts about the woman's actions. One Reddit user noted the part where mundane_waltz1106 confirmed that she felt different towards her husband and urged her to get a divorce. The person said the mother of one wasn't wrong and that anyone who'd do what her husband did to her without getting a DNA test was someone she should be concerned about. Someone with the username Layla Black said the woman was right and should take screenshots of the racial slurs used by the mother-in-law and save them. The social media user felt they'd come in handy if divorce proceedings occurred, saying, "You can state in court how you're scared that your husband will expose your child to a racist." The follower felt the woman's actions were justified and asked why she hadn't divorced the mama's boy yet. Noting how the poster had said she married her husband at age 19, the social media user was concerned about her marrying a 26-year-old man. The commenter teased about the husband being a real keeper because he left her abandoned and alone at the hospital after giving birth to their child. The Reddit user also couldn't believe the woman's husband kicked her out of their house for a month after she'd given birth. The person urged her to get a divorce and primary custody of the child if possible. They also encouraged her to document all the racial slurs and things her mother-in-law did, including the treatment her husband had given her and their daughter. The follower believed any man who kicked their wife out after she'd just given birth to his child was a monster. The social media user felt the woman's husband couldn't be so wet behind the ears to pin all the blame on his mother. The person warned the poster about being in an abusive relationship despite her husband not physically abusing her. The commenter believed the woman was being mentally abused by her husband and his family. Someone with the username FutureLog 2849 felt mundane_Waltz 1106's daughter was defenseless and vulnerable, implying she had to ensure her baby's safety. The Reddit user said the child also relied on her mother for protection from people like her grandmother and father, adding, "You know they are abusive because they have verbally and emotionally abused you." The person felt the mother-son pair couldn't be trusted not to harm her daughter. Even if it wasn't physical, the emotional damage alone would leave more profound and permanent scars. The social media user shared how they wouldn't want to be in a relationship with someone who had treated them the way the poster had been handled. Users indicated that no one should go along with how the mother and her child had been treated by their family. One follower judged the child's grandmother and said the poster wasn't bad for refusing the mother-in-law to spend time with her granddaughter. Instead, the Reddit user believed mundane_Waltz 1106 would have been bad if she'd let her defenseless child be exposed to someone who was as blatantly toxic and abusive as their grandmother.